What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well today. We are back on some MX Simulator, and the track of today is kind of a straight rhythm, but not really. It is a straight rhythm with a turn at the end and you come back the other direction, essentially. This is called Anarchy Valley, and it was made by Chucky Nygren, and it was released about a week ago. I want to say maybe a little bit longer than a week ago. Now I've just loaded into this and I've checked my graphics settings, but I think it is just a case of that the dirt texture is a little bit Play-Doh-y, if that makes sense. I don't think it's meant to be like the highest quality dirt ever, so it does look a little bit Play-Doh-y, but it's fine. So at the end of the day, it's more about the hype map than anything else. I do apologise that my voice has gone a little bit today for some reason. I have no idea why. I don't think I've even done much in the way of talking. I basically sat around and watched the final season of Walking Dead at last, which I must say was very, very good, but a little bit disappointed by the ending. I won't say any much more on that subject for those of you that haven't watched it yet and want to, although I feel like I'm probably one of the last people on the planet to have to have watched it at this point, but yeah, you can't blame me. It was a case of, it's not like widely available in the UK. You can watch it on Amazon Prime, but to watch the last series, you had to pay for it rather than it being included with Prime, which is a little bit disappointing, but I gave in the end. I was like, take my money, I love it too much. And now I'm finally done with it, and I don't really know what else to do with myself, so...
If you're enjoying the content so far, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. He would really appreciate it. Back to the video.
Actually, before we start talking about the track at all, if you have any series suggestions in there, I'd be more than welcome to take it on board. My girlfriend and I were always looking for new things to watch. We've just started watching The Boys as well, which I'm really enjoying. We've started on season 2 of that, so we're about halfway through season 2. It's really good stuff, but yeah, I'm more than happy to have any suggestions along that line. Now, this is a bit of a rare occurrence for me, because usually when I hop onto Sim, I'm a little bit of a mess, like straight off the bat. I'm kind of all over the place, pretty damn wobbly. Usually get some really stupid crashes, some silly legs offs that take a little while to get going, but so far... Oh, hang on a second. I was going to say so far so good, but in typical Linz fashion, I've crashed as soon as I've said that. But yeah, so far it seems actually really nice and flowy and quite intuitive as well. I imagine that he could have made some all sorts of weird and wonderful rhythms around this entire track, but he seems to have played it quite safe. I mean, even that finish line double, the second time round of trying to hit that, nice and easy, nice and straightforwards. I love the... You can just kind of run countless laps on a straight rhythm. There's always a downside that I found in straight rhythms, especially trying to race against other people, is you have your minute of fun, and then that's it. You've got to go through the whole start process again, and it just takes ages, and I feel like it kind of interrupts the flow of it a little bit. Whereas this, completely different. Like I feel like, although there is, I think, only 2 starting gates, so you start on the left side or the right side, and that's it. I feel like you could have more than 2 people on here and it'd be really fun, because you can just set it to the number of laps you want. I think you just have to get a bit lucky and hope that you was on the front row at the gate rather than being staggered behind. This is really nice, like really flowy and really good fun. And I don't know if I've just kind of missed the boat a little bit in the sim community for a while, but yeah, I feel like it's exactly the same in bikes, is when it comes to straight rhythm tracks, I feel like there's not enough of them made, but I really do enjoy them. I imagine they are quite difficult, because if you're on such a long straight and you start downsiding rhythms really nicely, you just go faster and faster and the lines can be bigger and bigger. So I imagine there's quite a difficult balance to get right between a big line like a quad that I hit in this section before wadding myself, and letting you do some like absolutely stupid things, maybe like 6 in or 7 in through certain sections. And I think the jump scale is everything. The jump scale is very important. I'm wondering if... So I'm on the 450 right now. I don't even know. What dyno am I actually? I'm on the Honda 450, 2018 Honda 450. So I feel like it could be a little bit of overkill. Maybe a 250 would be okay, but I'm actually quite scared to try the 250s now. It's been such a long time since I've ridden them that the engine braking always seems to kill me. Like I'll shut down a little bit too much and like tuck the front end, but at the same time there's 2 corners on the entire track, so maybe I should branch out a little bit. Oh, let's land it, turn it into a front flip. I have some very exciting news, which is a little bit off topic as well, and I'm not even sure if I'm meant to disclose it or not, but so you guys know that I am a massive advocate of the simulated games, whether it's sim or bikes. Track They Are is trying to do that as well when it's on the come up too, and I usually shy away quite a lot from like the MX vs ATV games as of late, same with the Supercross games, and even the XGP games. I feel like they've been a bit lackluster in recent years. But I've been reached out to by the guys behind Monster Energy Supercross 6, and they're going to allow me to have some early access to it, to play through it and kind of make a video for you guys. I believe it's all kind of, I think making videos on it is banned until the start of February, around February sometime. But I'm excited to play it anyway. It's interesting to see where the game will be at. I have been told that obviously it's not a final polished game yet. They still need to change some things prior to the release, which I believe is in March or April time. But it kind of signifies for me that finally I'm almost like one of the big guys, if that makes sense. It feels really weird saying that. I feel like I shouldn't consider myself as a big content creator, but I suppose in terms of the motocross video game scene, I'm kind of getting up there a bit. I'm trying to think of people that, at least in terms of following, I mean, there's other channels that do way better in views than mine do. In terms of following, it's really like Wyndham, Kellum / Start Your Systems. Ty Lin did have a bigger channel, but he's moved on to different things. I know he does a lot in the FPS scene now. And outside of that, I want to say I'm right up there in about 4th or so place, which for me, massive thing. I never ever expected it to go as far as it has done. So to be reached out to by a big AAA title like that is really exciting stuff, even if I'm usually not the biggest fan of the game. As always, when it comes to it and I make the video, I'll try and give you my most honest opinion. I'm not just going to kind of suck up to it and say that it's really good, even if it's not. That's just not in me, it's not who I am. I don't want to kind of coerce you guys into spending money on something that I don't believe is worthy of it. So I'm glad that I get to try it out, see what's what. Now, there's a few things I want from it, although I'm not sure if they will come true. I want cross-platform for the PC players to mix in with the console guys, because speaking from my own experience, I try hopping on MESX5 every now and then and just never get any luck. There'll be one lobby up a night, and usually it's in the US time zone, so I have to stay up quite late to get an online lobby. But when I do get in one of them online lobbies, it's actually quite fun. I have much more fun playing online on Monster Energy Supercross 5 than I do playing single player. I feel like the career mode gets a little bit repetitive. I don't get much of a reward out of it. I'm not sure what they could do in terms of a reward at all, but it'd just be nice having something in there. I'd love to see a proper... Well, I don't even know what the word for it would be. Like, not a rags to riches type thing, but, you know, go through the whole progress of going through a Loretta's and starting off on smaller bikes and working your way up. And I know that's something that Motocross Chasing the Dream was trying to work on too. It's gone a bit quiet on that front for some time. I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm guessing the devs have got real life in the way as well. That's not their full-time job. You know, they do work normal day jobs, and that Chasing the Dream is like a side project, a bit of a passion project for them. It's not their main job, so I do give them a lot of slack when it comes to updates for that game. I've not seen anything since about Halloween time. They did release a Halloween update, but I've seen no news since then. But then again, I'm not part of the Discord at all, so maybe I should try and venture out a bit more, look for some more information. But I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what MESX6 will bring to the table. I'd love just the bike to feel a bit more planted on the track, because going back to 5 now and then, it really does. A lot of time it feels like you're riding over the track rather than in the track, and it's quite a hard thing to explain, the feeling, but I can only kind of relate it to MX vs ATV Legends, where if you turn the front wheel, for example, and let's say you're doing a sharp left, it feels like the bike will carry on pushing you forwards rather than actually digging the front wheel in and turning. And then outside of that, I just want to feel like there's a sense of momentum in the game. I feel like Supercross momentum is a huge thing. I feel like you should be able to kind of rail round 180 turns if you want to. Or alternatively, you should be able to check up and then get on the power again and get a good amount of power coming out of the corners, especially on the 450s. And even if you come up a little bit short in one of the rhythm sections, I feel like you should be able to get back on the gas, seat bounce the jump, and then like triple your way through the rest of the section again, like you can do on the big bikes in real life. But I feel like it might even be across all of the Supercross games. If I'm honest, I played 2, I think it was 4, and I think it was 5. I've missed out 1 and 3. So I've not played every single one, maybe some of them are different than others, but I'd love there for you just keep more momentum on the straights, make jumps a little bit easier. The seat bouncing seems a little bit odd, the scrubbing and the whip seems a little bit odd as well. I'd love a way to kind of stay lower throughout the air, throughout the rhythm sections as well, without these weird oppo whips that you do. Every single game is going to have its weird and wonderful techniques to go faster, like reflex, for example. You could do your stretch whip or your whip glitch, whichever one you referred to it as, to go further in the air. I mean, Alive, the clutch boost was huge and really, really OP, and I'm sure there's others on the other games, but I've not dedicated the time to it. So there's always going to be them weird things, like the really good guys on the Supercross games, they kind of they press the buttons that you would do to scrub the bike in the air, they do it in the corners and turn corners really fast. That's a little bit outside of my skill set, but regardless, it is what it is. There's a way to go fast in every game, but I'd just like to be able to keep a bit more momentum around the track in general, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And like Sim does a really, really good job at it. There's parts of Sim that I don't enjoy. I think the traction's way too over the top. I think it's the opposite direction to Monster Energy Supercross, where we've got too much here and too little on that one. A nice little balance in between would be fine. I mean, for things like this straight rhythm track that I'm playing right here, having a lot of traction isn't necessarily a bad thing because you don't really notice it. It's more so in corners where you notice it the most. And I've never been a big fan of the erode system in MX Simulator as well. I feel like everything turns a bit like a Scalextric track. I mean, I'm not sure if Scalextric is widely known across the world, if it's just a UK thing or if you get it in the US and other parts, but essentially it's just like slot cars. The slot cars actually is probably the best way, where you just got your little toy track, you slot your car into it, and you've just got a remote control that is go, and then that's it. You've got no other buttons, no other controls, and it just sits in its line and it goes. And that's how I feel like the MX Simulator Road turns sometimes. It just turns into one line, you go super fast around the corners because the rut is 5 foot tall, and that's it. Everyone just kind of follows the train and only passes people when there's a mistake made, rather than being able to actually pass people. So on Supercross 6, I'd love there to be some good erode too. I mean, visually the games always look stunning, but I would expect no less from a AAA title. They just need to get the physics side of it right this time round, and I'm not asking for another simulator game, because the whole point of these games is to be more arcadey. It's a lot more for the casual player and more so casual viewer of Supercross. I think a lot of us forget that there's people every single week that kind of flick through their TV, they see Supercross for the first time, and they're like, oh, this is really cool, let's see what this is all about, and they go and get the game and play it and so on and so forth. So you don't want a game that's ridiculously difficult like Sim is, for example, for them casual people, because it would just scare them off. But at the same time, it also should be enjoyable for the hardcore fans, just like Reflex was, just like Alive was, and I think if they go in that direction, they'd be looking at a recipe for success. So I'm hoping it goes that way. Just to kind of give some thoughts on this track, I think this is actually really fun. 100%. I've kind of shut my brain off a little bit and I've just started talking, not having to concentrate too much, but really enjoyable track. So massive thank you to Mr. Nygren for making this for us. I think I'll definitely have to check out some of his other tracks. I don't think that I've played many at all, and that's just down to me being out of the loop a little bit on Sim, but I hope you've enjoyed this video, and definitely give the track a try if you've not downloaded it already. Maybe you're one of them people that need some recommendations on where to start when it comes to Supercross practice. Something like this could be a good place. I know it's not got like your triple straight out of your 180 bowl turns and things like that, but it's got good whoops. I myself struggle a lot in whoops recently, especially on the RF tracks, but these ones seem a little bit more tame, so it's a nice place to start. There's some big lines, there's some lot smaller lines, but overall I think it will do a really good job at just kind of training you on jump timing and so on and so forth. Definitely takes a little bit of concentration, because as you can see I'm making a hell of a lot of mistakes, but give it a go. Let me know what kind of lap times you guys are running. I'm sure there's some weird and wonderful, probably sub 1 minute lap times around here, and I just like the concept. Maybe something else like this where it's a little bit longer and maybe you go back and forth on yourself more than twice would be really cool. And the fact that you can, I mean, even making it like a figure of 8 type deal where you have to go on both sides of the track, I think would be really interesting too. But excited to see what comes out in the future. If you've enjoyed this video, if I could ask you to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new, I would greatly appreciate it. Hope you have a lovely rest of the day, wherever you guys are up to, and until I catch you in the next video, peace.